How many illegal immigrants on the terror watch list have been caught at the southern border this year?
I don't remember the number exactly, and we can get you that.
I think the answer is 75. Do you think we pitched a perfect game at the border and caught every single migrant on the terror watch list trying to cross into our country?
No, but being on the terrorist watch list, meaning that if there is known or suspected terrorists or there's information that they may have had contact with, doesn't actually mean that they are all.
Okay, how many terrorists have tried to cross the southern border during the Biden administration's tenure?
Sir, I don't know that I can give you a precise number.
I think the answer is 357. Again, do you think we pitched a perfect game for the last 3.5 years and got 357 out of 357? No, I don't think so.
The Director of National Intelligence appeared before the Senate Armed Services Committee May 2nd to discuss worldwide threats to the United States, and two areas that so far have received little media attention, but that were homed in on by Senators Tom Cotton and Joni Ernst, include the US border and Joe Biden's refugee admissions program.
A recent poll found that 71% of Gazans viewed Hamas's brutal attack on Israel, including the rape of innocent women, their murder of children, and their murder of and capture of Americans as, quote, the correct decision. And yet our president is considering an action to bring Gazan refugees to our homeland. Can you tell me for certain that this proposed action by the President of the United States won't put our citizens at risk here in the United States?
I'm unfamiliar with the poll, but I can tell you that the process for bringing individuals into the United States includes a very significant vetting process. That would be the kind of process I would expect would occur, and so therefore that would mitigate against any concern or risks that we would have.
The day before Director Haines' testimony, and the White House press secretary was asked about President Biden's plan.
Now, in terms of the refugee admissions program, which is what I believe you're asking me about, we are constantly evaluating policy proposals to further support Palestinians who are family members of American citizens and may want to come to the United States. So we're evaluating it. I don't have anything to announce at this time.
Both Senators Cotton and Ernst voiced their concerns during the public session, drawing on both the past and present to make their point.
I know that we have tried to do vetting on Afghans and other refugees as they come in. Many times that has not been successful. I'm adamantly opposed to what the president is attempting to do.
I agree with her. I think that would be insane. There's a reason why Egypt won't let them in, and Egypt is right on their border and speaks their language and has a vested interest in protecting itself from threats from Gaza. If they won't let them in, I don't think the United States should let them in either.
Mr. Cotton then turned his attention to threats at the southern border from migrants who've already crossed into the US, and he cited the FBI director's stark warning from March.
I believe that the terrorist threat level that we're contending with right now is at a whole nother level from an already heightened terrorist threat level that we were seeing even before October 7th. And so this is a time not for panic, but for heightened vigilance given the risk.
Do you agree with Director Wray's assessment?
Absolutely. The terrorist threat level is of grave concern, and we can obviously have discussions in closed sessions about what that means.
Mr. Cotton then highlighted the other ways in which the Biden administration has admitted what many people would consider high-risk individuals into the U.S. homeland.
The Biden administration has also granted entry to more than 7,300 illegal aliens who are known as special interest aliens, which means they come from notorious terrorist breeding grounds like Uzbekistan, Syria, and Iran, and pose a potential national security risk. That number was based on data collected before Hamas's October 7th atrocity against Israel. Since then, do you think that there may be an even greater surge of Islamic extremists trying to cross our open southern border?
We haven't seen Hamas directing essentially folks or others in the region to come into the United States to engage in attacks from the Gaza conflict. That doesn't mean that obviously this isn't something that could develop over time, but we're not seeing that related to the Gaza conflict, if that's
last year, Customs and Border Patrol officials in San Diego issued an internal intelligence notice titled "Foreign fighters of the Israel-Hamas conflict may potentially be encountered at the southwest border." So CBP certainly expects Islamic radicals will try to exploit the border. Do you think
We're
that
trying
that
to be-
report is excitable and exaggerated?
No, I think it's absolutely, appropriate to be vigilant on these issues. And as we've talked about in the context of the Gaza conflict, we've seen that galvanize, in a sense, different terrorists around the world in different ways. And so I think we're just trying to be as careful as we can.
The problem is that while one's natural inclination is to want to help innocent refugees and those looking for a better life, the Biden administration's handling to date has been less than careful.
We have got to do better. I disagree wholeheartedly with what the president is trying to do by taking people out of Gaza and bringing them to the United States. I have seen failures in the vetting process before. I certainly don't want to see those failures repeated.